So the regression concept, the model of regression therapy, is that all of our issues as human beings come from locked in feelings and emotions from past traumas. And that's all of our issues. Depression, anxiety, lack of confidence, sexual issues, skin problems, cancer, physical problems, you name it. Every issue that we have as human beings in some way has got an emotional trauma in there or emotional traumas at the heart of it. And this is certainly the case with physical issues. And I've specialized for years working with physical issues with my clients. Every physical issue has emotional causes. And if we're able to heal and open up the emotional cause to a physical issue, then it can get better. Now, of course, the medical model doesn't want to look at this. It doesn't want to look at this, partly because it doesn't make any money for Big Pharma and the drug companies. Partly, also, my belief is that Big Pharma and the ruling elites want to keep us ill as much as possible. And so, of course, the medical model is about keeping people ill so that they can keep taking the tablets and taking the drugs. Doctors nowadays are not trained to look at diet and emotional factors and lifestyle factors. They are just trained to say, you have a problem, Mr. Patient, I'll give you this tablet or whatever. I mean, it's a bit general, but that's generally the case. In therapy, we're looking at the emotional traumas. So let me give you an example just from recently. I've had a client, and bear in mind I do all my sessions online nowadays. I have clients in 31 countries around the world now. And I do all of my sessions online because they're just as effective as one-to-one in-house sessions. And I had a lady who was from Sierra Leone. And for most of her life, she'd been brought up to believe that, and she probably still does, that past lives is evil because she was brought up as a Christian, and she heard people would say, "Oh, that stuff's terrible. It's all evil. It's all of the devil." But she's done a bit of reading and a bit of searching around, and she started to think what she's been taught is actually not true. And she came to me with a stomach pain problem. And she's had stomach pains for 36 years, since she was 10 years old. 36 years. Every day of her life. At times, the pain in some days is as high as 8 out of 10, if you were to score it between 0 and 10. At best, on a good day, the pain would only be 4 out of 10. And she's had this for 36 years. She's tried everything, tried to change different diets, cut out different foods. She's had all tests for other medics. They can't find anything wrong. And she comes to me for therapy, and her subconscious shows that the cause of the stomach pain are 3 past lives, 3 different past lives. And in our first session, we went into the first past life, where she relived a life as a young Chinese girl who is sold into slavery by her brother, her wicked brother. She gets thrown onto a slave ship, and below decks, it's horrific. You know, there's hundreds of people in the slave ship. There's hardly any food. They're all starving. They're all sick. They're dehydrating. It's a terror. It's terrifying, of course. She's a young 8-year-old girl. And of course, in the regression session, this lady was experiencing the trauma. She was feeling the feelings, the horror of it all. This poor little girl was terrified, and she was sick, and her stomach was hurting, and then she was starving. And then she died of, I would guess, malnutrition and dehydration and sickness, as a result of all this. And we finished the session. Now, my client was really shocked. I mean, she's a lady who doesn't really believe in past lives, and she would never have come up with that sort of experience. But she was pleased to have had it. She felt better at the end of the session. 4 weeks later, I saw her for a second session. The stomach pains had been completely gone.